Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is Harley Quinn, Season 2, Episode 13, The Runaway Bridesmaid, or as it was originally titled, Something Borrowed, Something Green, which I like that a lot better. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to take care of some business first, then we'll get to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see at the very end of this video, a video pop up here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms for all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match as best as possible one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. Up here is going to be Doom Patrol, is what's going to be up there. If you want to know when I'm gonna be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below there. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at my schedule. It's up there. It's changed that every week. And also all the links to my social media on there are on there too. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. No tier set up as if you're on the Patreon. And also there's links on there too to my what you're watching now on YouTube here, and also my Facebook page and a Facebook group page, which you guys can post stuff on and chat amongst yourselves. So there we go. So yes, this is the final episode of the season. And we'll talk about that ending too here in just a bit. So before we get started here, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not watched the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, I'm hitting stuff left and right with that paddle. Yeah, we see Gotham is getting cleaned up now at this point. Yeah, I can't believe it's a finale either. It did go way too fast. So yeah, Gotham has been cleaned up thanks to the Justice League. Gordon's pissed off because he doesn't get a key to the city, although the mayor gives himself one, even though no one's ever seen the mayor in Gotham up until this point, really. And of course, what happens, but Two-Face actually talks him into why don't you run for mayor yourself? And he goes, I can run, I could be your campaign manager. I can run the campaign from behind bars, just like every other campaign manager, which I thought was pretty fucking funny, by the way. Gotham's got ham for Gotham. True. He does. And, basically, Two-Face talks him into taking down Poison Ivy and Kite Man's wedding, which is now on again over at the corn factory because Poison Ivy had Frank eat Condiment King and his woman there, and yeah, Frank just basically ate them. And I do love that they're talking this out. So Kite Man and Poison Ivy are flying, and she's like, I'm glad you let me talk to you and all this stuff. And he goes, I just want to know if the wedding's on or not, because if it isn't, I'm going to go to a bar, get drunk, and I'm going to argue with what's the most metal album ever. And, and then I'm going to cry and puke, which sounds like Kite Man. And I love how she says, if you were a metal album, GNR is, is the most metal. And he goes, GNR isn't even metal. You'd be Appetite for Destruction is what she said to him. I love all these little nuances. It felt like a longer episode than just 22 minutes long. And yeah, Kite Man, it was not meant to be at all. And of course, Harley is back in Arkham at this point, and she also hears from Two-Face that the wedding's going on and that Gordon is going to crash the wedding and arrest everybody there. So basically, in exchange for that information, she has to break him out of Arkham, which is what she ends up doing, of course. There's a lot of really good jokes in this episode. I mean, the whole vegan donut thing too. I just didn't invite you here. Gordon invites his cops in on Saturday, which, and says, hey, I didn't just invite you here for the vegan donuts. And they're all eating donuts. And oh my God, they start spitting them out, which is right. That's what you're supposed to do with vegan donuts. You're supposed to just use them as coasters or actually insulation for wall insulation. That's the only thing they're good for. They're not good for ingestion. They're actually highly recommended not to eat vegan donuts. And I love that Cheryl is back too. So Cheryl, who we've seen as working at Arkham, one of Bane's people down in the pit. She's also on the police force before, and she's also been on her own as a scavenger with one of the other cops that took down Gordon. So we keep seeing Cheryl throughout this series as different things. She comes back as a police officer, which I find hilarious as well. So yeah. Oh man. So the wedding, of course, is going on, and Harley makes her way in, of course, hoping to spot Gordon, and Gordon is already infiltrating the wedding. And I do love that Clayface is going to sing. He wants to sing an aria at the wedding, and it's not for Poison Ivy. It's because of Catwoman's date, who is Tim Burton. Oh man, I mean, this shit is just funny. And I love how Clayface even says, Kite Man is a basic bitch through and through when they're talking about how the wedding is, a Pinterest, basically a Pinterest photo from 2014. Oh man, there's just so many, many, many good lines. But the best thing is when they're reciting their vows, and of course, Kite Man is going through how mundane their life is going to be, and Poison Ivy's eyes when he mentions that they're going to have 4 kids, and that they're going to be busy shuttling in between all these different practices, dancing practice, karate practice, and capoeira, which is a cool mix between ballet and martial arts. Mm. And yes, let's talk about Catwoman's line too, by the way, when Harley does show up and they're taking the bridesmaids photos. And of course, Catwoman's not dressed up in the bridesmaid's outfit. She's like, no, I'm not putting that shit on. I'm not putting that rag on. And Harley's like, great, can I borrow yours? And Catwoman's very catty reply is, which 10 pounds do you plan on leaving behind? Which just killed me, man. I mean, that was fucking awesome. And of course, Harley later on when she's squeezing into the dress going, "Fuck, I thought she was just being a bitch, but she's right." Um, well, going back to the vows and all this stuff, the thing that really killed me out of this entire episode, and I had completely forgotten about this, is Kite Man's real name. Charles Brown is his real name. And yes, Bill Finger, who created Kite Man along with God, I can't remember the artist's name now. Along with I'm bad, but this 1960 that they created Kite Man, and yes, they did name him Charlie Brown in honor of the Peanuts character. So he has been known as Charles Brown, Chuck Brown, and of course Charlie Brown as well. And throughout his comics career, and that I completely forgot about. And when Poison Ivy is reading her vows, and she says Charlie Kite Man Brown, I fucking lost it. And yeah, that is probably the best part of this whole thing is, you know, I forget stuff every now and then about comic lore. That's what happens to me. And it makes me laugh. Apple Crow says reminds me Harley looked killer in that red black evening dress a couple episodes back. Yes, she did. Um, she did. And so, of course, all hell breaks loose with Gordon gassing everybody and leaving plastic plants. So, of course, Ivy has no weapons. And as they are arresting everybody, of course, Harley is the only one that sees this happening. And she, of course, grabs the mask and thwarts everything by knocking out the skylight and letting everything vent. And of course, Gordon's guys are on the run from all the supervillains that are around that are going to kick their ass. And as mayhem is ensuing, Harley basically tells Kite Man and Ivy that she's an ordained minister. She got it, ordained online, and that she can finish the wedding. And Kite Man's like, no, fuck no, hell no, this isn't happening. He goes, I'm not redoing my wedding. He goes, I should have known when it took me 3 tries to ask you, to marry me, and you wouldn't do it. He goes, I should have known. I should have just left it. He goes, and you're right. I do deserve better, is what Kite Man says. And he basically leaves her. And, I actually, if you remember back, I think it was about 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes ago, I kind of foretold that's how it was gonna happen, was, that Kite Man was going to come to the realization that, he was gonna have to leave her and not her leaving him, and yeah, Kite Man does finally find his self-respect, exactly. And that's exactly what happened, is he ended up leaving her, which is what had to happen, quite honestly. There's no way you could have her leaving him. It had to be him leaving her at that point. And of course, uh Poison Ivy, as they're escaping in the car with, Harley and her escaping in the car, very Thelma and Louise-esque in a way, with the cops behind them, is that Poison Ivy comes to the realization that she's been doing everything for everybody else, but not what's right for herself, and that she actually does love Harley Quinn, and that they're going to go off and have this life together, and they kiss as they drive off into the sunset. Now, the end that kind of bothered me is we get the little the closing off of the scene. It goes to black and it says the end with a question mark, which I'm thinking is the showrunner's way of saying to DC Universe, AT&T, HBO Max, whoever the fuck is running the show over there now, hey, are we getting a third season? Because they haven't heard anything yet about a third season. And that is their kind of what the fuck is happening kind of thing. Yeah. That was the moment he went from Kite Man to Kite Man. Yes. Uh Viking Bitch says, I wonder if they left the ending like this because they don't know if they're getting another. Yeah, that's exactly. So originally, like I said, this episode, if you look at the very end of the credits and it flashes like really, really quick, I had to be really quick on the pause button. Took me like 3 tries to get it. At the very end of the episode, every episode has what the title is of the episode. The original title of this was Something Borrowed, Something Green, and they changed it out to The Runaway Bridesmaid. I don't know if it was the showrunner's decision or if they got overruled by the DC universe head honchos or the AT&T universe, whoever the hell's running the show, like I said over there. Because, like I said, I am not seeing DC universe surviving beyond the end of this year. That's what I keep looking at. Just because of what AT&T has been doing, they are doing some weird, funky shit with HBO right now. Um, and they're throwing everything they can at HBO Max to try and get people in on that shit, even though they don't have it in 4K, they don't have it on Roku, they don't have it on Fire TV because they don't have any agreements with these guys or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you at this point. And they don't broadcast anything in 4K. So why would I bother going to, PlayStation 4 to watch it in 2K? Come on. It's kind of ridiculous. The same thing with Doom Patrol. I'm not going to watch Doom Patrol on HBO Max in 2K when I can go and watch it on DC Universe in 4K. Why would I do that? It's just stupid on their part. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a third season, fourth season, fifth season, all that kind of stuff, as long as the quality holds up. I mean, this was a good season, like the first season. The first season was good, and again, this whole thing was about a relationship growing, and it did grow organically. Poison Ivy even points out to her, Harley Quinn, that she grew as a person and is continuing to grow, and that's the whole thing. That's what this whole point is that these are characters that, yes, they are comic book characters, and it is a comedy, it's a comic take on these comic book characters, but there's also a core to it as well that's happening, that's just come out from good writing. And yes, they have killed off some villains and things like that, but they're doing a damn good job of just adding to this universe and writing some really solid characters and some solid stories and fleshing these characters out in a way that you actually care about them and care what happens to them, even Kite Man. I mean, even though Kite Man was not going to wind up with Poison Ivy at the end, we still cared about him and that he stood up for himself. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why this show is good. So, yeah. Because they'll make it the only option is the reason why to watch it in 2K. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's going to be pretty stupid if that's what they do. If the AT&T Coke execs decide that HBO Max, in 2K is the only way to watch this shit, that's going to be really stupid. I'll unsubscribe, quite honestly, after Doom Patrol is over with. Because, hey, I mean, why should I stick around on that one? Kite Man should hook up with Wonder Woman next season. So that was the other thing too, is last episode we had Poison Ivy, under Dr. Psycho's control, of course, release a pheromone that made Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman look like they were getting into a threesome. And we never had a resolution to that in this episode. Yeah, the Trinity, as they're called in DC Comics, got a lot closer, and there was no resolution to that one. I wonder if that's going to come out, if there is another season, if they have anything planned to make whatever that awkwardness would be at that point. Yeah, because I don't think Kite Man's going to be hooking up with Wonder Woman, Apple Crow. Yeah, she's already got her eyes set on Batman or Superman, or Batman and Superman. We don't know. Yeah. So, what else is going on? I'll tell you what else is going on. At 7 p.m., that's going to be in like 45-ish minutes from now. I'm going to do the second episode of season 2 of Doom Patrol. That's right. I'm going to cover that at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here. And then tomorrow is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday is going to be episode 3 of season 2 of Doom Patrol as well, since they dropped all 3 of them. And then Monday is going to be Stargirl. Stargirl is going to be up on Monday. Tuesday is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm going to do as of yet. I'm thinking about it. Wednesday I'm going to be off. Thursday is going to be the 4th episode of Doom Patrol. Friday I'm going to be off too, so next week. So there we go. Apple Crow says that just means she has a hidden thing for no powers but the ability to glide. Uh-huh. I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, I'm not. There's too many jokes. So there we go. Take a look at the schedule. The schedule is up. I just, revamped it about, 15 minutes before coming on the air. So it's all up to date there. So if you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end of this. If you like what you see there, hit the subscribe button. Up here is going to be, of course, Doom Patrol episode 1 of season 2 is going to be on there. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at my schedule up there and all the links to all my social media presence. And also the link to my Facebook page and the Facebook group page, which you guys can join, post stuff, and chat amongst yourselves for those of you who still have Facebook. Yeah. All right. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. Well, at least until 7, because that's when I'm doing Doom Patrol. Have I said that I'm doing Doom Patrol? By the way, I'm gonna be doing Doom Patrol at 7:00. All right. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. I will see you guys in a little bit. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have your series just wind up in limbo because it's in DC Universe and you don't know if it's going to be happening, even around by the end of this year because of AT&T and all the cokehead execs that are there. Thanks, everybody. I will see you in about 40 minutes. There we go. And I'll see you then. Thanks, everyone. See you in a few, if I know where the end button is.